In Lagos, patience is not a virtue. It is a full-time job. Mr. Bayo Olumide did not wake up that Monday morning planning to test his patience. He only wanted to do 3 simple things. Renew his driver's license. Buy fuel. Get to work before 12 noon. In Lagos, this was ambition. At 5:30 a.m. his alarm rang. Bayo woke up, looked at his ceiling fan rotating like it was tired of life, and whispered, "Today will be a good day." Lagos heard him and laughed. He had run out of fuel the previous day and parked his car at a garage just beside the petrol station and went home by bus. By 6:15 a.m., Bayo was at the bus stop in Yaba. The bus stop was already crowded like free concert tickets were being shared. Hawkers were shouting, "Pure water. Cold pure water. Plantain chips. Original. Bottom by Gala." A Danfo screeched to a stop. The conductor leaned out and shouted, "Yaba. Timis. Timis straight." Everyone rushed like the bus was the last helicopter out of a zombie apocalypse. Bayo entered. The conductor looked at him and said, "Go hold your change." That was the first test of patience. Bayo looked at the conductor, was about to give it to him aura for aura. Then deep breath, his inner man said, "Not today. Not today." He closed his eyes and took a very deep breath in and exhaled. He sat beside a woman who was on a phone call on speaker. "Yes, mummy, I told you. I am in the bus. This Lagos is not easy." The man behind him sneezed every 2 minutes. The man in front of him was eating groundnuts like he was competing for a world record. The bus moved onto the road, then 10 minutes later it stopped. 5 minutes passed. 10 minutes passed. Bayo asked politely, "Driver, why we no day move?" The driver replied calmly, "You know see traffic." After surviving traffic that felt like a Netflix series with too many episodes, Mr. Bayo reached the fuel station. The queue was so long it looked like a wedding food queue. He picked his car from the garage and joined the line. It was already 9:45 a.m. 1 hour later, and little movements, the car in front of him kept moving. Progress. Suddenly the attendant announced, "Fuel done finish." Chaos erupted. One man shouted, "You people are wicked." Another woman said, "God is watching all of you." Yet another person exclaimed, "My enemies will not succeed." Bayo said nothing. He just turned off his engine, closed his eyes, and took a deep breath. Patience level. Advance. He walked down the street and saw a man selling petrol and engine oil by the roadside, popularly known as black market. It was sold way above pump price. He bought a 10-liter gallon worth and made his way back to the petrol station. After topping his tank, he drove into the traffic. It was now 11:45 a.m. Bayo arrived at the licensing office by 1 p.m. The door was open, a cleaner was cleaning a desk at the corner, while a security man sat in a chair near the corner, reading a magazine. There were no workers at the counters. A sign on the wall read, "Office opens 8 a.m. Another sign below it said, "System is down." A third sign, handwritten, said, "Come back tomorrow." Mr. Bayo laughed. Not a small laugh. A deep, emotional laugh, the type that comes from deep within the soul. The security man looked at him and said, "Are you day all right?" Bayo nodded and said calmly, "I have achieved inner peace." On his way out of the office, a young boy running bumped into him accidentally and stepped on his shoe, leaving it covered in mud. "Sorry, sir," the boy said quickly. Mr. Bayo looked down at the muddy shoe, then at the boy. In that moment, Lagos held its breath. Mr. Bayo smiled and said, "No problem. Just be patient in life." The boy ran off like he had just escaped a lion. That night Mr. Bayer lay on his bed, exhausted but proud. He didn't renew his license. He didn't buy petrol from the station. He didn't make it to work. But he gained something more important. Lagos-level patience. And in Lagos that is greater than money.